and on Facebook, right? Last platform live on Facebook. I was live first on Instagram. Instagram, I don't know how you really share this. I'm not on IG a lot. Put my mic down. But Instagram, if you can, share this with your followers. Brandon on YouTube, he's always the first on. Thanks, Brandon, for tuning in. I think I'm live on Facebook. Yeah, I'm live on Facebook. I got 𝒤𝓾𝓒e coming in. And Brandon, thanks for the thumbs up. On YouTube, hello, Instagram. Thank you, Raleigh, North Carolina. Make sure on YouTube that you hit that thumbs up button as well. Hello, my favorite basketball mom on Facebook. So YouTube, make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Thank you for the emojis and the digital love on YouTube, right? On YouTube. So I'm planning on coming live again tonight. I'm fine, Romy Rome. Romy Rome asked me on YouTube, how am I doing? Planning on coming live again tonight, probably around 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, right? Now, the topic that I had in mind for tonight is, will America make cash great again, right? Will America make cash great again, right? Will we make cash great again? Or will crypto be king? Let me adjust this on Facebook. Make sure y'all can hear me. Will crypto be king, and will credit continue to be queen? And this is why I say credit is queen, because people, credit is power. Credit is power, and credit is leverage. So if you know anything about the game of chess, the queen is the most powerful and the most versatile piece on the board, meaning that she can move in multiple directions, right? She can promote a pawn from a regular pawn to a king, right? And she can move vertically or horizontally, right? So such is the game, the financial game of life, that credit is queen. You can do multiple things with credit. But with the dollar, with crude oil, I think $10 a barrel today, dropping all the way to $10 a barrel. And if you know anything about the history of the dollar, of cash or currency, right? Cash currency, you know that the dollar branded the name the petrodollar because it was had the support of Saudi Arabia in the oil, and it made it the most respected, powerful currency behind that backing. So with the crude oil lowering in its price or in its value from $50 to $10 today, then does that make the dollar depreciate any? But listen, I want to get to this article real quick. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Can America make cash, meaning currency, great again? And is crypto king and credit queen, right, in this financial game plan? So that's going to be my topic for tonight. Can America make cash great again? Because cash is a depreciating currency right now. And will crypto be king? And will credit continue to be queen? Meaning that credit still is going to be, even with these credit score drops, the most powerful piece in the game. So I was on a Periscope previously, and I was listening to a Mr. George Pitts. He talked about this article about the FICO changes, right? The FICO changes. So let me see if I can reverse or flip my screen real quick and see how that will look, and see if you all can see my screen. Maybe not. Let's see. Okay. So it's about the credit score changes, FICO changes. And I think sometimes people have to see things for themselves, kind of see it live and in person before they can really believe the report, right? So let me switch the screen also for YouTube so you all can see it as well. And I will see how that looks on YouTube. Get this glare off of here. Okay. Really not helping with that glare that much. Still a little glare on the screen. I don't know where it's coming from. But Instagram, just stay with me. And I read the article to you on Instagram or IG. So I'm not really sure where that glare is coming from. So let me look on YouTube and make sure YouTube can kind of see the screen pretty well. YouTube, you can kind of see it, but with all of that, I'm going to read it to you. So Instagram, you just stay with me. FICO 10 is about to change credit scores. Here is why it matters, right? Now, I want you to notice that this article is coming directly from the vice president of my FICO, right? And if you know anything, you've been following me for any time, you know that my FICO.com gives you the true and accurate credit score. So the article reads this: your credit score can determine whether you can buy a car, get certain jobs, or rent an apartment. It's a big deal. And so is this. Credit scores for many Americans are about to change, even if they don't do anything. I want to emphasize that the article says your credit score is about to change, even if you do not do anything. The changes will be extensive, right? Extensive. About 40 million Americans are likely to see their credit scores drop by 20 points or more. And I got this from Mr. George Pitts on NWPR.org. They're about to see their credit scores drop by 20 points or more, and an equal number should go up by as much, according to 𝒞𝓄𝓒 Gaskin, vice president. You heard it from the vice president of scores and analytics at FICO, right? FICO is your true credit scores, what the banks and lenders use. The company at heart of the credit scoring system. Every 5 years or so, FICO updates the way it determines credit scores. This time, right? This time, the biggest change is how it treats personal loans. So I told you all this earlier about now your personal loans, your installment debt will be calculated higher in than just your credit card debt, right? If you don't know, you could have used FICO 9 and it would have been to your advantage if you were a person that kept on average about $400 to your account. Now, it's a myth, or I would just say miseducation, that many people say, oh, well, FICO 9 is not being used. It would have been used by banks, by your lenders, had you were knowledgeable and requested, right, that you use FICO 9. But a lot of people, 1 out of 4 people, did not even keep $400 cash in the bank, so that might not have been creditable for them. But the article goes on to say personal loans are growing faster, right, than any other consumer debt categories. Unlike what many credit gurus say, that is credit card debt. That's not true. Americans owe more than $300 billion. You all get that? $300 billion on personal loans. There are all kinds of personal loans offers in the mail, online, and TV. Many promise to lower your interest rate by consolidation, credit card debt, right, and to personal loans. For the first time, Gaskin says FICO is breaking out personal loan as a distinct category to determine whether borrowers use them responsibly. Why does this matter? Let's say you pay off all your credit cards with a personal loan. Under the old system, or now this current system, your credit score might go up. But under this new approach, FICO will look back over a period of time. As for 2 years, I have been telling you all this since January of this year. 2 years to see whether you've used the loan to reduce your high interest rate credit card debt, or whether you're using plastic as much as before, running up new revolving balances and falling deeper into debt. What we find is potentially that a consumer's credit file carries more risk than it should or than what is apparent. So if they say if your finances are in good shape, you already have a good credit score, you're likely to see improvement, right? That's why I'm pushing the issue. People, get your credit fixed now before July. But whose scores will decline are people who are lower FICO score range, about 580 and below. So if someone's trying to sell you an AU trade line, at this point, it would be a waste of money. Invest your money to true credit, overall credit repair. So it goes on to say, people who already, listen to this, have low credit scores are more likely to see their scores go even lower. People. And we're already entering into a global depression. And I have on my whiteboard behind me that not only will the oil crisis collapse be included, a stock crisis will, and also a credit crisis, including student loan debt, vehicle repo, and housing non-prime loans. So Tori said people have low credit scores are more likely to see the scores go even lower. They will worsen in the credit system. With personal loans, people with good credit can qualify for good terms, but Tori said predatory lenders charge people with lower incomes, listen at this, higher interest. Predatory lenders charge people with low income higher interest or high interest rates. A lot of predatory products concentrate these offer to low income neighborhoods, targeting communities of color, targeting communities of color, Black and brown community, right? Especially who tend to have more limited options for financing and for credit, Tori says. They are ensuring or they are ensnared into this cyclone debt, right? She says, cyclone debt, I'm sorry. She says that it doesn't seem fair that now on top of that, many will be getting hit with lower credit scores, right? Will get hit with lower credit scores, and people they're hitting, I've been telling you, is coming in July, right? Than they would have before. With some loans, especially home mortgage, lenders tend to use older versions of the FICO 4. That means like FICO 3 and 4 model, right? So the new version won't have an impact on all types of lending. Gaskin says that FICO's new credit score is to give lenders better information so they can extend credit to more borrowers at better rate. So let me turn my cameras around, flip my screen. I just want to share that with you all, right? And get this for you because I really do have to make a post office run. But listen, I wanted to emphasize what this article is stating, that they target more people of color and the community. So I don't want you now more than ever, people. There is so many financial education products out there. Doesn't matter how you want to approach it, whether you want to learn to do it yourself, whether you want my consulting services because you feel like the results can come faster than slower. But whatever you're doing, because I just had this conversation this morning, and in 4 minutes I'm logging off. But I had a client, and this client had an opportunity to get some equity out of their house, right? So they could get equity out of their house. And the best thing about credit is credit can be converted, or it is converted if you use it wisely, right, into cash. You can convert credit into cash, especially if you're going to invest. So we are coming upon a recession. But what you do know or understand about recessions, that rich people get richer in recession. And this is why a lot of foreclosures are about to come up on homes. Unfortunately, a lot of job losses, right? Some people are taking the bait where they are not paying their credit scores for 90 days and they are not even a recipient of their job hours being lowered. They're not in furlough. They're just saying, hey, we're going to take advantage of this and we're not going to pay our mortgage for 90 days. But in doing that, they don't know that when July hits, that 90 days as well as in one lump sum, right? So that 90 days as well as July payment is going to be due in one lump sum. And if you don't have it, you can short sell or you can foreclose or you can bankrupt on your home, right? And so now a lot of people cannot even get the loan modification, opportunities because their credit is not good standing. And all of this, whether you think it's fair or not, is going to come at the same time in July. So I'm telling you this to say this, and I'm logging off because I will go live tonight between 8 or 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Number one, you need to know where your credit scores lies because credit can get you and convert into cash. I was telling the story of a client I was speaking to this morning, had cash in her home, had equity in her home, but because of her credit situation, she could not pull that cash out, right? So if you have cash enter into this recession, it would be a great thing. But honestly, most people that have bad credit don't have cash stacked as well, because you could use your cash right now to become a landlord, to get homes 20, 30% off the market value, to get them at the cheapest rate that they will ever be offered, right? You could use credit to invest in silver right now or crypto, right? And so that's what I'm going to speak on tonight. How to use your credit, how to position yourself for prosperity. Because if you are a person, okay, Lee says, and if you don't keep up mortgage payment, you will not be able to get future loans right anytime soon. It takes some people up to 3 years that default on a home loan, whether you get it removed off your credit score or not, to get future financing from the banks. Up to 3 years if you decide the short sale option. And so I've been coming before people, and let me say this. I also just read this article as well, and I got to log off because I have somewhere to be. But I read this article as well. You can see it without the glare. Let me see. All right. It's No Break. And I don't mention the name because YouTube will demonetize my video. But if you know about this quote unquote health issue that's going around, it says no break for consumer credit, that this is not, the CV is not going to give you break for consumer credit. This is from the Wall Street Journal. It says the financial industry persuaded Congress to reject a moratorium on recording missed and late payments on credit reports during this CV outbreak, raising concerns that people who lose their job will take a lasting hit on their credit scores. It didn't say permanently, right? It said a lasting hit on their credit score. Legislation that would have prevented credit agencies from reporting negative credit information for 4 months was shelved in the lobbying frenzy ahead of last week's passage of a roughly $2 trillion economic stimulus bill. So that means it was put up on the shelf, right? It wasn't, addressed or discussed, right? And so that's okay. Thank you. I still can. Okay. So the credit industry argued that it already has adequate measures to protect people credit during disasters, and that incomplete report will lead to lasting problems in determining people's credit worthiness. The final package, this issue isn't going away, right? A person's 3 digits credit score is based on payment history, the amount of outstanding debt, length of credit history, and new account. Payment history includes things like such as mortgages, auto loans, and credit payments. Poor credit scores make it difficult to obtain affordable loans, to invest, and can affect people's ability. That's what you all don't understand about credit, to get housing and jobs. That's even including rent, right? Hello, Nadia B. So creditors say they will use national disaster code during this pandemic for missed or late payment, which they will flag to future lenders that the borrower isn't at fault and won't harm their credit scores. Reporting negative information with a code doesn't work. So they're saying this won't work to report it this way because the negative information is still in the system. So the creditors are saying right now, even if you're late during this pandemic, they're going to put it as a natural disaster code. But the article is stating that won't work because it's still going to be negative no matter how you put it. Right. So even during this time, if you're 90 days late on paying on your mortgage or rent, and even this is still going to be recorded as negative in your credit score. Right. So we are bracing for a flood. Listen to this article of late payments, late and missed payments. And because of this crisis, the only way to truly help people is to shut off the spigot of negative information from the credit agencies. So the U.S. Bureaus of Chamber of Commerce is trying to fight this, but at this time, the credit agency said no. We're going to say it's late due to a natural disaster, but it's still going to be late. So I'm logging off. I have to go to the post office, and I have 25 minutes to get there. But I want to say this. I am going live tonight to answer the question between 8 and 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Can we make cash currency great again? Right? The dollar is losing its purchasing power. Crude oil is down to $10. Or will crypto be king and credit be queen? Credit is the most powerful piece that you need, people. And if you don't have credit and you don't have cash in July, it's going to be an ugly rest of the 2020 for you, right? And let me say this, people, once you are accepted as one of my clients, please don't text me continuously. I cannot work on your credit report if you're going to text me on a daily basis. I'm going to put it where you will only have access to me, email if you overly text. I have 3 different phones, right? But I have my business phone. If you overly text my phone, I'm going to block you from having access to text me, and you will only be able to communicate through email. I promise you, as I'm working on your credit, if it's something I need, I will text or call you. Other than that, please practice business etiquette and email me at all times. Right? I promise you, I read my emails just like I do text messages. But I am getting an overwhelming amount of clients because people are taking action. But I need you to communicate me and use business etiquette. Communicate with me via email. Now, I do have some people that's telling me, well, I don't know how to sign up for your credit audit. I went on your website. I went to Credit Help Book Online. I'm sorry, I cannot take you as a client because anyone that works with me knows that one of the prerequisites to work with me includes you being able, right, Nadia be on YouTube, you being able to scan and email me documents and send me affidavits. So if you can't go on my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com, and go to Credit Book Help Online and read those instructions to get your credit audit and analysis, then you will not be a client of mine. If you're telling me, well, I just got to talk to a person on the phone, I can't because I'm already talking to you via live now. And if it's ever an opportunity to ask me questions you don't understand, it is during my live streaming. So if you want to be a potential client, you need to hop on my live streams when you can. You need to make sure if you're on YouTube, you have the alert, you're subscribed, and you have the bell notification hit so you know when I'm live. And as of right now, I am planning on going live tonight between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay, Des Washington. I heard that many companies will not automatically start using FICO 10. Des, I just read from you an article from the vice president of FICO that says, yes, this is happening. And banks during recessions, they are going to protect themselves. They are not going to get money and get deeper in debt and continue to have risky loans. So if you didn't watch the first beginning of this video, watch the first beginning. Here, the article that I read out from the assistant vice president confirming that FICO 10 will be in effect. I've heard some people that have 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I also, refer to them as credit specialists. And they've been saying, oh no, banks want to adopt top FICO 10. And I've been the only person, I think, on YouTube that's been consistently saying this since January of this year, that yes, banks are. Because let me tell you, when July comes, it's going to be, if you have credit and if you do have cash, you're going to be in a position to live the best life financially you can. But if you don't, it's going to be just the opposite for you. Just the opposite for you. Because like I was stating, this lady, she had equity in her house that could have been converted into cash. But her credit did not, she was not in good standing with her credit to pull the equity out to come get cash because she wanted to invest on a very good real estate deal that would have brought her cash flow. So, hey, I have to go to the post office. I'm signing off. Trying to find okay. If you have any questions, go to my website. If you want the silver stacking report, stroll all the way to the bottom on the first page. It's one small investment of $25. You need a credit audit to see what it would, how much the process to work with me. Go to Credit Book Online. The website is www.fixmycreditandcash.com. I will see you tonight. Between 8 and 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Queen of Credit, this is to your peace and prosperity and your credit and your cash flow. I'm signing out. See you tonight.